Just to know you're here to stay. I walk with faith, not with fear. Every step I know you're near. Through the doubt, through the rain, you're the calm inside the flame. Even when the night is long, your light leads me on. So I walk.
Welcome, everyone, to the Walk with Faith with Molly Faith podcast with special guest Mark Henry. Hi, Mark.
Hello,
How are you?
blessed as always.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So, thank you so much for coming on. I would love to have you share, like we talked a couple times about, um, like possibly like what you feel you're supposed to do here during this time on the planet. And then we also discussed the divine feminine and divine masculine. Um, so, in your own perspective or in your own vision, can you share with one of those topics, whatever you're comfortable with?
I mean, as I've said, it's hard to put into words. You know, we all work in such nuanced fashions that it's hard to narrow down into a specific realm because we're not narrow-minded, we're not narrow scope people. But I mean, basically, the easiest way I can describe it is to say that I've had a vision in my head for 20 years that I've been trying to steer us away from because it doesn't really end well for anyone, either side of the fence. I mean, it's all due to a lack of commitment, I guess. I don't really know the right word for it, but
Okay.
um, it's what do you call it? It's a fear of taking the next step, I guess I should say. Like we've all heard the individual process and it's an individual path going within, which is true. You know, every journey has to begin within. Once you find that spot within, then it is our duty to share it outwardly with the rest of the world. And that's really what we're being called to do now,
Okay.
is, open ourselves up and what we've learned because, we as a species, we've been doing this for a long time. And it's time that we find our voice. Step forward, rise as one. And create that reality that we as a species are capable of creating once we work together as a species instead of just trying to go out and collect whatever is mine. And
Okay.
if that makes sense.
And yeah. So, um, what how do you feel is a positive way or a beneficial way for people to take that step after they've done the work inward to take those action steps to share themselves outward or come together? Do you have a vision?
I mean, it's there, but it's vague at the moment. Like kind of like a snowball that you roll downhill and it gathers mass as it goes down. And it's kind of the same thing. Like it's there, but it's kind of in the background,
Okay.
right? It's not really in the forefront of what it is. I see. Like that possibility is still there, and all it really takes is for us to take responsibility
Okay.
of us. You know, it's not me. Like I don't take responsibility over myself. It's taking responsibility over the self of the collective humanity.
Right. So
And we're all, go ahead.
so uh, taking accountability for choices and actions. And if we all do that on a collective level, it will make a major shift.
Right. I mean, instantaneously. Well, it's gathering, but once it passes that momentum swing point, which we're almost at, because we as a species do have a decision to make on where it is we're moving forward.
Okay.
You know, we all feel it. We look around at the world and we know something inevitable is coming. But what that inevitability is really up to us to decide.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be the catastrophe that everybody's scared of, the chicken little in the sky is falling type thing. It's just us actually standing up as a species and taking responsibility for ourselves because I am my brother's keeper, right? That's if we all took on that mentality, yeah, you'd see a shift in the world almost overnight.
Okay.
It'd be amazing.
Can I ask you a question? Because I notice you use this word a lot, and zero judgment here. It's a safe space, okay? And I just want you to explain it to people of what you mean when you say species. Do you feel that there's a division or of a species? Do you believe in other beings or star seeds or,
I mean, absolutely.
okay. I'm curious. Yeah, I just want to know.
I mean, you look out probability, right? We are one planet in a galaxy of thousands of stars that holds life, and we are gullible enough to think that this doesn't happen elsewhere in the universe? I
Right.
don't think so.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that they've been trying to contact us for millennia, just waiting for humanity to catch up in that, like the collective. I had a friend of mine called it the thoughtmosphere. I mean,
Okay.
because every thought that humanity has ever had exists within this thoughtmosphere. It's, I mean, I like to think of it like a gelatinous blob, kind of like a swamp thing kind of deal, right? And if you can get within that thoughtmosphere and navigate, then there is all information is available to you right there. And you know, it's the channelings and various forms of psychic abilities and what that's what it stems from is our collective connectedness. I mean, if we weren't all connected as we were, then none of that stuff would exist. There would be no reason for it because it would truly be just free will chaos everywhere. And I know that's what the world looks like it is, but it's really not. Like it's a controlled chaos of balance
Yes. Yeah.
because balance is the universal key.
Mm-hmm. Right. Order and balance. Right.
Absolutely. And
So,
it's, go ahead.
can I ask you, how do you feel about free will, the free will to choose? You think it's within reason?
Let's see, there's that, what's the word again? Nuance with that. Because free will absolutely does exist. And it's up to each one of us to decide how we're going to express our existence in this world, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure the guys out there on the street begging for change, they didn't exactly choose that life, but you know, in the higher consciousness, like that's something that they had to experience because they have yet to be that destitute in their process yet. So, this time around, hey, that's what you got. Sorry, you know.
Right.
But there's only so many scenarios that can be replayed and so many ways that they can be experienced. And I mean, there's 8 billion people on the planet right now experiencing life in different forms and realities, and each one of them are choosing their own existence. But at the same point, we are one species traveling to the same goal,
Right.
right? We all inhabit the same planet. We're not going anywhere different. The beginning and the end is at the same point. It's just a matter of how you get to those two from. You know what I mean?
I do. Hmm.
I don't know. Sometimes I just get lost in it and none of it makes sense, but all of it makes sense at the same time. And there's not really words to describe it. So I get lost trying to find them. I don't really know my way back sometimes.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It does. And it's going to make sense to the people who are um can understand the frequency that you're speaking on. So I get what you're
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um
those are ears and those are eyes. That's all I'm hearing.
yeah. So if you everybody has that same destiny that they want to get to or that end goal, right? How do you feel about I don't know why this is coming through, but how do you feel about the people who are making the free will choice to maybe not inspire others or not operate in the light that there's pushback on the planet right now?
So wise men have always said that any good thing worth having is worth fighting for, right? And that's basically what we're seeing now. Those who are pushing back and providing, it's just an obstacle. Are we really convicted enough in our decision that we will stand firm in the divinity and still push forward against those obstacles in order to overcome them?
Right.
Kind of like a hurdle race, you know, running by yourself was just as little, you just jump over them, but that's not really what we're doing. Like, sure, each person is running their own race, but at the same time, we're involved in the same race together. So it's more of an obstacle course where, sometimes you're going to come up against a 12-foot wall, and the only way to get over it is to build a chain of people and get over and help each other over,
Right.
which is what we seem to be approaching now. It's one of those points where, hey, we really need to sit back and ask ourselves what is truly important in our lives and moving forward. It's really not this whole corporate world and capitalism and blah blah because it's just running us, the human spirit, into the ground, chasing what?
Right.
Is it worth it? No. I mean, if we just gave to each other the same amount of energy and effort, oh man, the world would be a much different place. We'd be experiencing, chasing different dimensions together.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's what this is about. You ever had a really, I, I like to use this expression. I mean, I had a thorn in my hand one time. I was playing disc golf, and I pushed through. I'm not one to quit because I got injured. So I just kept playing. And I went home and I tried digging it out. No matter what I did, I could not get this thorn out of my hand. I knew there was one in there. So, 2 weeks, 3 weeks went by, whatever it was. And I was still just working every day, going about my business. One day it was just itching really bad. So I'm just scratching it and I'm digging at it and I couldn't do anything with it. So I got my boss to try and do it. He's digging at it, scratching, trying to get it out, and nothing would come out. And finally, I quit digging at it, picking at it, and just kind of relaxed it and squeezed my hand a little, and the thing popped right out.
Interesting.
Like there was no effort needed. And it feels like that's where we are at as a collective, right? Okay, even those messages you put out, there's a divine union coming. Well, that doesn't necessarily have to be between just one man, one female, or
Right.
whatever it is, just one part. That divine union is in the hearts of humanity.
Exactly.
Like the entire planet is about to come together. And honestly, the only way that I can see it prevailing, love actually just got to push forward in love. And keep being that example because what we've done in the past, it's worked, right? Like, look at this next generation coming up. They're beautiful and strong people, and they've got it in their hearts, right? But we don't need to leave the work on their shoulders, right? We can still carry our own,
Mm-hmm.
do our thing because we are ready. We just need to accept it within ourselves. As soon as we act upon it, then the rest of those providing those obstacles out there, they'll have no choice but to follow along because they'll realize that, hey, that really is the way to be. That's the way to go forward because we're just destroying ourselves if we keep going along this route.
Yeah. Coming together rather than division, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, look at us. There's divisions within genders,
Right.
divisions within races and cultures and countries. I mean, yeah, I'm from the South. I can't tell you how many people down here, those damn Yanks, and that's within the country. Just because you were born on another side of the country, we are now enemies for some reason. Like, what
Yeah.
kind of sense does that make?
Right.
It's time to get past all those archaic ideas like nationalism and blah, blah. Humanity. We all deserve the right to live and prosper. Neither
Absolutely.
one of us have rights over another. That's preposterous. It's insanity. We've been doing it thousands of years, and it's always had the same outcome, yet we still keep chasing it. And it's definitely time. There's enough of us out there who feel that we just can't keep this up any longer. And honestly, you just have to share your sanity with other people who can hear it.
Yeah. I feel like all of that stems from like we have to deprogram what we've been taught, or I feel like the division was because of fear and control, wanting to separate everyone when really we're energy and we came here just in these physical forms, and if we could take away the physical form or the gender, the belief systems and all of that and look at our hearts and our spirits and connect that way and understand that really once this goes away, we're all the same and we go back to the same creator source, we could
Yeah,
see things we could see each other through a different lens, you know?
absolutely.
Yeah, because really we all have a path. It's like before we came here, it's like, okay, I'm going to choose this religion or this tradition, this path, this relationship. I'm going to encounter this or do this job and overcome this, this, and that. I'm going to encounter this person who is different. How am I going to react with this person that comes into my life? Am I going to see them as the same as me, just in different meat suit, right?
Hmm.
Like we're still the same, and
Absolutely.
but we just have maybe a different journey, but yet we're still on the same mission and journey, and we all need to come together and not be afraid of
Exactly.
what we don't know, because maybe we'll learn from that person. Maybe it's something not to fear, and we're supposed to learn something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
I had a wise man once tell me that the moral compass for all life must begin within the wilderness. And, it kind of struck me like, what does that even mean? I fought with it for years, and I was out camping one time. It was just me, and I was out there staring off into the stars. And all life, the moral compass for all life must begin in the wilderness. And it really is the truth because in the wilderness, I mean, you look at the wild, and the cougar doesn't really feel empathy for the gazelle it takes down or whatever it is, right? And that's just the way that nature works. But at the same time, I've seen cougars raise little gazelle because they had lost their mother. You know what I mean? So you can't say that it's unguided. Like even in the chaotic world of Mother Nature that doesn't care about anything but survival, there's still that engendered connection to life within other species.
mhm.
So if it can be overcome within, a fierce cat and its prey, then it can definitely be overcome within just humanity because we really are all the same.
Right.
It's kind of sad that we're however long into our history of being that we're still having to have this conversation. I mean, like I'm from the South. There's people down here that still remember segregation. It wasn't that long ago. So, in contrast, the progress we've made in such a short amount of time is staggering.
So where are you in the South? If you don't mind me asking.
Mobile, Alabama.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I've been all over.
So does your family live there? Like, do many generations were you raised there?
I was born and raised here, kind of bounced back and forth between here and California,
Okay, where in California?
San Diego.
Interesting. All right. Where in San Diego?
My real home. Oh, all over. I was in Santee for a while,
Okay.
Lakeside.
My neighbor.
Mm,
I was in
love
San
it.
Yeah, so
Where?
I was born in Los Angeles, grew up in Palm Springs, California, and then right after high school, I moved to San Diego, all around San Diego. So I
Mm,
was in like San Carlos. Uh,
yeah, the cousin goes up there.
yeah, area, Del Cerro, and then moved back up to North County um area. So, but yeah, very familiar.
I love it.
Yeah,
I went back a few years ago.
okay.
It just didn't feel the same.
It's different. The energy is very heavy, I feel like.
Yeah, almost drove me crazy
Yeah,
to get out of there.
yeah, I had to too. That we got out of it. Just the energy was very stagnant, dark. Um,
Mhm.
it's too bad. But yeah, definitely I've taken trips as well, like cross country, like literally from the desert valley, like La Quinta to
Mhm.
Texas, from Texas to New York, and stopped. And you can see the difference, the different shifts, the way people are. I met some really amazing people along that journey. So cool.
Mhm.
I was I think I stopped in Arkansas with Ryan and Puppy Moon. Um, it was at a gas station, and in the gas station there was a McDonald's. And my son is a type 1 diabetic, and I was gonna get him like something to eat because we're traveling, and he's like, "Can I have an ice cream?" He's like, he's 21, but the childlike spirit came out in him, He's like, "Can I have an
Mhm.
ice cream sundae and a cheeseburger?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can have that." So I go in, but what was so cool was when I went in there, um, I ended up meeting the lady who was working and she was talking to me. We ended up praying right there together.
Mhm.
It was that's what I'm talking about. Exactly. I knew you would catch on to that. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it was so cool. Like total strangers, but not strangers. It was like a kindred spirit. And
Yeah.
she was like such a mom too. She's like, it's cheaper to get a double cheeseburger than a cheeseburger. And she's like, that's what you need to get. And I was like, okay, it's fine, cool. But my son's like, what's taking so long? He didn't know why I was in there so long. It's because we were giving each other a hug and we were in prayer. It was really cool. It was so cool. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I loved it. So,
That's one of my favorite things to do is go cross country in a Greyhound.
okay, that's
You
cool.
don't even need a destination. You just pick a spot and you can turn around and come back.
That's
But that
awesome.
trip across country and all the places you get to stop and all the people you get to meet,
Wow.
it's
That sounds
beautiful.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
And funny enough, like I've been all over the country. One of the only places I've never been is Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
Like
You'll
the
have to
whole
make that.
middle right there is like Arkansas and Oklahoma and stuff like that. I've never been there, but
Okay.
all around the outskirts,
Yeah. But yeah, when you can come together, even if it's a stranger, and do stuff like that,
especially
I'm
when it's a
for that.
stranger.
Yeah.
Because now that stranger's gonna go home and they're gonna share that same story. Like,
Yeah.
this lady came in and
It was so cool. She was so awesome. I'll never forget her. She's a beautiful, yeah.
and I'm sure she's the same way about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just be sitting there 10 years down the road and be like, there's one time I was at work.
What was so funny, Mark, too, was we were sitting there and we were holding hands and we were praying, and we had people come from the back. They're like, "Is everything okay here?" And she's like, "Everything's great. We're praying together." And they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
So, because people aren't used to really seeing that, they're used to
yeah,
seeing more of the judgment and division. So, yeah,
yeah. And especially when it comes to praying in this country these days, like
yeah,
it's really seeing, oh, how dare they? It's looked down upon
I know.
because religion has had such a bad run of things. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
do
I feel like that's the deprogramming as well. So, like, I don't have an organized religion.
mhm,
I have many, and I love all religions. I love all spiritual paths.
absolutely.
And But I will never forget because like the thing that my family was missing was prayer and their connection. It was like it faltered in their life. And when my
Mm,
when my grandpa passed, he suffered very badly. And my dad, I remember my dad saying, I don't believe in God anymore because he prayed to God. It was really awful, Mark. He had
yeah.
prayed and begged God to give the pain to my dad and take it away from my grandpa because he was dying of prostate
Mm,
cancer. And my grandpa actually asked my dad to shoot him to put
mm,
him out of his misery, which devastated my father. Um,
yeah,
and
sure.
he prayed and prayed, and the prayer wasn't answered. Well, it wasn't answered because it wasn't his pain to take on. But at that moment, and what I noticed was when he said that, because of their particular path, not saying for everyone, but everything kind of fell apart very much in our life. And then on my path, I remember later on in life, I was getting really sick and I went and I saw my old godmother who I don't speak to anymore. And the first thing she said to me, first thing,
What's that?
you need to go home and you need to pray. Pray directly to God and then do
Mm,
this, and that. Do you know, I went home and I started praying to God. Absolutely. And I feel like, and it's not like she had an organized religion, but she knew that was the message that came through.
yeah.
So we have to deprogram that because what has happened is there's been like, well, that's the right way, that's the wrong way to pray. That's the right
Mm,
religion, that's the wrong religion. No, 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 no. We all come from
yeah.
the same source. There, it's okay. Like if we could get rid of that judgment, because I feel like, that's something that is missing in people's lives. We can incorporate
Totally.
all of this, meditation, cleanses, prayer is huge. It changed my life. And it also changed the path of
Absolutely.
my parents' life because, like I said, he stopped praying. And man, the turmoil, it was
Mm,
something that had to be seen. So you're right. People frown upon it when really it's very powerful.
and that's why they frown upon it. What better way to suppress us than to suppress the things that give us power?
Right? That's such a valid point. That's such a good point.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, especially through religion, right? Like, I was born and raised in a Christian church, and one of the greatest things that ever happened to me was going to Afghanistan and meeting a bunch of Muslims because they're
Wow.
beautiful people.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, absolute beautiful people.
Wow. Yeah.
War torn, right? And just been through all the worst things that a human can go through, and to see the light in these people's hearts
Wow.
and the smile on their face, like, oh, that's what changed my world. Because I realize it's not the truth over here, it's the truth that's all encompassing.
Right.
I mean, once we find the truth that's in all of those, then we're free to just be ourselves. Like, who needs those boundaries anymore? Because that's really what they are, it's just
Yeah.
boundaries of
Right.
control.
Right.
I just like breathe,
Right.
just breathe. You talk to a tree. You have a problem and you can't find the solution. Just go talk to a tree for like 3 hours. Tell it everything that's weighing you down. I promise you, by the time you leave, you're gonna feel 1,000 times better.
Mhm.
And the only thing the tree has to say is, slow down. You're going too fast. Slow down and pay attention to what's around you.
Mm-hmm. So true. It's my mom. So the majority of my family is now in spirit, but I remember my mom, she would always say that, do not rush. This is not a race. Do not rush through life. I don't rush for anyone. It's a
Absolutely.
journey. Take your time. And man, did she take her time. She was
Mhm.
one of the slowest people. I love you, Mom. But it's funny because it does remind, and it's true, like to really stay present in the moment, slow down. Um,
Mm.
did you
And it's
see?
hard.
It is hard because we're
I'll be the first to admit,
going and going. Yeah,
yeah, always deadlines to me,
right.
schedules to keep, and I get it. Especially if I get a project in front of me, I don't like to slow down until the project is done. And like I'll run myself into the ground
Yeah,
and no sleep, no food, just obsessed with this project. And when it's done, I'm all worn out and going, I didn't even really enjoy that. Like I set off on this project as something for me to just enjoy in my leisurely time, and I couldn't even relax enough to enjoy it. Gotta get it done, gotta get it done. No, just
yeah,
slow down.
right.
Take pleasure in it because this is the only one we got.
It's the experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. So thank you, Mark. So if you could give any advice to anybody, slowing down is one, enjoying our life, coming together, like what else? What would you leave with people? You talk about divine union, right? Coming into union as a whole, as a
Hmm.
planet within ourselves. What would you leave with people?
Don't be afraid to step out. I see a lot of people, especially on this path, right? Like it's one, you dive deep inside, and sometimes it's hard to come back out into the world and bring into the world what it is that we found in our journey within ourselves. But that really is the most important part is sharing that knowledge with other people. Don't be afraid to speak your truth. Be who you are. You're the only person that can be. But stay humble in who you are because it's a slippery path from sharing your experiences and trying to help someone else and ending up conceited and arrogance and trying to control someone else's path.
That's right.
But it's not our journey. Our journey is here together and be the lighthouse. The
Mm.
other lighthouses can find a way and join in the shining. Once we illuminate the world, there's no turning back. So don't be afraid to shine.
Right. I agree. I agree with that
Stay
completely.
beautiful.
I am so big on humility, and I feel like sometimes we have to be broken. Maybe not everyone agrees, but we have to be broken down and stripped.
Hmm.
Um, so we understand that we are fragile as well. Um, but also to find ourselves again. So everything else is removed so we can really see ourselves at the core. Um, so we can come out and like be that nakedness, be ourselves, be who we are and shine.
Yeah, because you're gonna get judged.
Yeah, you are either
It's
gonna
gonna happen.
it's going to. It is.
You might as well be.
But also staying humble is huge. I've heard people say, well, humble, we don't want to be humble. That means
Yeah.
but I feel humility is a really big part of it. Um,
Hmm.
at least on my path. I was even told that by my spirits, and I go, but I'm really humble. Well, I wasn't, apparently back in the day in my old timeline, I was not because I got broken so badly. I
Hmm.
I was, yeah. So I think that's a huge thing. Um,
Yeah. And humility doesn't mean allowing yourself to be stepped on or taken
it does
advantage
not.
of by other people either. That's
No,
a
it doesn't.
misconception. Like, no.
Right. And having confidence, I want people to understand having confidence and shining bright. Don't be
Absolutely.
ashamed. Don't be ashamed to do that because
Mhm.
there's some people would be like, who do you think you are? That's arrogance. There's a difference between being your authentic self and like embracing who you are and shining, um,
Absolutely.
and other people being triggered by it. So there's a balance there because
Absolutely.
yeah, does it feel good? Like, does it bring you joy in your heart space? Like, does it bring you happiness? Like, are you feeling free and happy and you're not hurting people, rooting people on, being the lighthouse, like what you said is so big because, like, embodying that energy, being it so people can see it and then it inspires is so cool. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I agree.
Lifting each other up. That's the only way we rise.
Yeah. So, Mark, you're amazing. Thank you
Mm.
so much for doing this
Thank
with me. Thank you so much. I
thank you for
enjoyed
having
this
me.
so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you have beautiful spirit, beautiful energy. And I'd
As do
love to
you.
have you back on again when you.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
Anytime.
Thank
This is
you.
what I do.
Yeah, so cool. So thank you. And
Thank you.
thank you everyone for joining me and Mark today. And we are just sending you so much love. Oh, is there any way, like, do you have social media? Is there any way people can get in touch with you if,
Honestly, the only social media I have anymore is Instagram,
okay.
and I don't even remember what my Instagram handle is. So,
Okay, so can I share it like on the video?
absolutely.
Okay,
Sure.
awesome. Very cool. All right. Thank you, Mark. All right, guys, we're sending
Thank
you so
you.
much love and gratitude, and we pray that you're always, there's puppy, surrounded by the Most High God's love, protection, and blessings. Bye, Mark. Thank you.
I walk with faith. You've never failed, not once before. Why would you now, my Lord? So I lay it all in open hands and follow where you stand. You're the breath inside my chest. I'll trust you with the rest. I walk with faith, not with fear. Every step